Alrighty, what is up everybody? My name is Chance and today we're going to be playing something a little bit different. We're going to be taking a look at Age of Wonders Planetfall, and we are going to be going through the tutorial mission today, so that's going to be what's on our agenda. So yeah, hopefully we'll have fun. We are doing this as a live stream event, so anybody looking or watching as a past or in the past, in the future, I don't know how to talk today. You know, this is a VOD, so you might be able to catch us live playing the game at another time if you keep an eye out. So yeah, before we go ahead and hop into this wonderful game, I would like to go ahead and remind everybody, if you enjoy, be sure to leave a like down below and a comment in the comment section if you have any suggestions for this video, future videos, or past videos. Furthermore, if you're new here, consider subscribing. We try to play fun games and try to have fun while playing the games. I am a huge strategy fan. I love thinking about things, but I'm also fun with strategy games, so it's a weird combination. We're not like trying to make everything the most efficient, which is what most strategy players are trying to do. We're just trying to have the most fun, which is still a skill to try to make efficient. I don't know. Either way, we're gonna go ahead and hop off into this game. Now, what is it? What is Age of Wonders Planetfall? From everything I've seen and everything I've heard thus far, the best way to describe it is as if Civilization, you know, Sid Meier's Civilization, XCOM, and Stellaris all came together and had a baby, it would be this game. So it is, I believe, published by Paradox Studios, which is awesome. I really am a huge fan of most of the things Paradox puts out and puts its name behind. So yeah, I believe we're just gonna go ahead and hop in here to a new campaign, and we'll let this play. Maybe
shift around me.
Doesn't seem like it's too loud.
My last possession. My name was Empress Carmenia, and I was the last regent of the Star Union. We built a paradise on 1,000 planets, a glistening web strung between the stars. But the cataclysm shattered all, leaving our people stranded and alien to one another. Whoever you are, whatever you have become, it is time to leave this dark age behind and return to the worlds of your ancestors. Uncover our secrets, but heed our mistakes. Forge a new empire, a new age of wonders.
Alrighty, so that's sort of like the intro, I guess, to the game. It's just giving you a little bit of background, so that way whenever you're like sitting there reading things, you're not like, wow, what does any of this have to do with anything, you know? So there's a little bit of the story. Now we are going to go ahead and hop into this tutorial because I actually haven't finished it fully myself, and I want to, well, let's go ahead and let this play out.
LCVP-86 emerged from void space intact. Our destination is a small planet located near to the anomaly in the system. Scans are showing nothing but static from the research outpost below. The distress call we received remains the only sign of life.
Alright, so we're going to go and hop into the tutorial. We're going to be learning this game together. We're going to be playing, hopefully, a hell of a lot of it, right? So, we've come out of deep space.
Void anomaly looms over the planet like a dark omen. These scientists must have been mad to study the phenomenon from this close. But it's not for me to question their motives. We're here to secure a foothold, search for any survivors, and investigate what happened. Prepare for Planetfall.
Alrighty, and as the game introduces itself, we are going to start it up. So this is Planetfall. This is Age of Wonders Planetfall. We're falling on a planet. No, everybody's tutorial is the same, so every time you start at the tutorial,
welcome, Commander. I am Ava, your autonomous
get into
integrated virtual assistant. Standard issue for every planetary governor of the Star Union. My messages will appear when important actions are undertaken for the first time. They can be reviewed at any time in the Imperial Archives.
Alrighty, so that's Ava, our little AI for the game, which, you know, most games do come now with a the little. Okay, I was making sure that my Steam stuff wasn't popping up on my video. That'd be a little bit embarrassing. Nonetheless, Ava will not read the entirety of all of your messages, so be sure when you're playing this game, just because you're listening, that you still pay attention and you read the rest of it, as it will have further information. So the diamond icon and color will assist in early decisions by recommending certain choices to direct the development of your starting empire. So it's just like a, hey, we think you should go in this direction. It's generally a good idea. And since they put us on the same map every time for tutorial, it should be fun for this playthrough. So you can pan the camera using the arrow keys or WASD, and zoom in and out using the scroll wheel on your mouse. Additionally, the camera can be moved by holding down the left click button and moving the mouse around, as in most strategy games. Selecting is done by clicking the left mouse button. To deselect something, use the left mouse button to click anywhere else. Fantastic. Alright, Planetfall successful, Commander, powering up base colony systems. Good, there's no time to waste. We'll start by setting up and expanding this colony. Start a surface scan for survivors and existing colony infrastructure. Inform me when our research systems are online. So we basically just came down and our AI is saying, hey, we're setting up base, and you're saying, great, there's no time to waste. We have people out there we want to save and a planet we want to colonate. Colonate? Y'all know what I mean. Yes, Commander. Recalibrating sensors, initiating surface scan. A biodome has been located nearby, but there are no signs of survivors. Okay. Continue scanning the planet's surface. If there are any survivors on this world, I want to know about it. I'll scout the adjacent sectors and investigate the biodome. It should contain supplies that will help us expand our colony. So our first little mission here is going to be searching for survivors and exploring this biodome. Pretty self-explanatory, and the tutorial does an excellent job of walking you through this, but there are a lot of things like, hey, it's not talking to you right now, so be sure you're actually reading over this, if nothing else than just for the first time, so you can know what a quest screen looks like. So searching for survivors, select your army and explore the nearby sector to locate and investigate the overgrown biodome, as it's already told us. Hint, you can see your progress in your currently active quest in the objectives interface. It's a weird wording. Anyways, objectives: 0 of 1, explore the nearby sector; 0 of 1, take control of the overgrown biodome; and then our rewards will be 72 research, or this little atom symbol, and then 47 food, which it will be this little leaf symbol. So, we will accept this quest. Now, for those of you that play, let me scroll back in here. For those of you that have played Civilization games, before most top-down games, you'll recognize this sort of view. However, since it is, I believe it's a Sid Meier's. Don't quote me on that. I know for sure it's Paradox, but I'm not for sure if it's Sid Meier's. It does have the hex grid. Okay. We'll let Ava explain.
Units on a single hex and are used to explore the world, attack enemy armies, and defend colonies.
Alrighty, so selecting the unit's portrait in the army panel below will display its abilities. Clicking the left mouse button on a unit's portrait in the army panel below will open the unit panel for that unit.
To move an army, select it, and then move the cursor to the hex you want it to go to. A preview of the route is shown, with a blue path to indicate how far the army can move this turn.
Alrighty, each hex has a move point cost. Each unit has a set number of move points per turn. So for those of you familiar with strategy games, basically you click on the unit and it can move 3 spaces per turn based on random elements. So if there's maybe over water, it moves a little bit slower or whatever. So yeah, for each hex or each little space that you move, it does cost a point. Units can be selected by using the left mouse button and then clicking with the right mouse button over a hex that you want it to move it to. So we have our little hex selected here, our Jack Gelder, which is our commander for this this little mission, and we are aiming for right here. It shows you a little trophy as what your quest is, so that's where we're going to be going. And again, you can move it around using WASD, so that's how I'm using it to scroll here. And you can see there's a big old bug there that we're going to be facing in just a little bit. So let's go ahead and right click. Colony production facilities are currently idle, Commander. I recommend we start with building the central replicator facility, and then it has the diamond to let us know, hey, this is what we think you should do. Nonetheless, it increases production. I've highlighted this structure in the colony interface.
This is the colony interface. It allows you to inspect and control your settlements on this planet. The tabs at the top left cycle through the production and colonist options.
All these. Anyways, the number of colonists and sectors that are part of a colony are listed at the top, as well as the strength of the colony militia. So it's right here. It says we have 1 out of 1 sectors. Obviously, the 1 sector should be our main headquarters, our hub station, right? And then it shows all the details down below. So these are, how much food it's making, how much energy, how much production, how much research, how much happiness, which is, I don't know. It says it leads to happiness events. Obviously, you don't want your people to be unhappy. Otherwise, it leads to unrest and riots, which could be troublesome. And then it tells you the total population and maximum population based on, X factors. So we have a total population of 3, and it tells you down below that in 3 turns we'll gain another colonist. So, yeah, pretty much everything we'll need to know about a city, or rather a colony, is displayed up above, just like in many of the Civ games.
Under this colony's name, you can
Okay,
see
so
the
this is
amount
just
of
telling us all
each
that.
resource this colony generates. A description, and this is the structure production tab.
There we
Colony
have it.
structures can be built from here to unlock new units, strengthen the economy, and bolster the colony's defenses.
Alright, so some structures have an energy upkeep that is paid each turn. So we're producing 72 energy. You can see up here in the top left. 20. We're actually producing more than 72. We're producing 96, but we're minusing 24 for our unit upkeep, so we can already see that we have an upkeep to pay. This is basically just telling us that some structures also have an upkeep of energy, so we want to keep, an eye on all of our resources, as in most resource management games. So you can add a structure to the production queue by double-clicking the left mouse button, or by selecting it and clicking the produce button. So this is the one that is recommending we produce. Produce Central Replicator Factory, a miniature factory that produces a boost to a newly settled colony's production capabilities. Provides plus 15 production. So only 1 central structure can be built. So we can do Central Reactor, Central Biopharm, Central Science Lab. This is saying go for the factory because you're trying to get production. This is your first colony, and you want to be able to build stuff quickly, right? You don't want to get overrun by all these bugs that we see here, simply because we're getting behind on production. So it costs 100 production to make, and we're making an 85 production per turn. So, add 85 from the first turn. It's obviously going to take us 2 turns, and then we're going to have that, actually, I don't know how they do production in this game, but if it's anything like Sid Meier's Civilization, then once it's done, that extra production is just sort of left there. Some games, they have it pick up on the next structure that you go to build, right? That production will be carried over. Some games, they just have it drop off, so we'll have to see with that. The cost is 2 turns, so it kind of tells you that right there. So yeah, we want to click it, and we want to produce it.
Units and structures can be built in a colony by selecting the Produce option, which places them in the production queue.
Alrighty, so when something is added to the production queue, the energy and cosmite cost is paid immediately. So cosmite cost, I believe, is right here. Cosmite is, how do I say this? It's like your gems, right? It's your precious resource for building the higher tier units or the specializations. It's the resource that you really want to keep an eye on, because you're not going to have a whole lot of it, and getting it is going to be a little bit harder than all the rest. So anyways, it's paid immediately. The energy of cosmat is paid immediately. So as soon as you go to queue something, you don't have to worry about like, okay, so in 3 turns, then I'll lose these resources. No, as soon as you queue it, you're going to lose the resources, which some people prefer it that way, some people don't. It's neither here nor there. I prefer it that way simply because it's less taxing on my brain. Nonetheless, and the production cost is subtracted at the end of each turn based on the colony's production income. So what it said, it cost 100 production, so at the end of the turn we'll add 85 production to this little 0 of 100, and then the next turn we'll add another 85, which we'll only need 15 of that. The order of production projects in the queue can be changed by hovering over them and selecting the up and down arrows that appear. We don't have that right now, but I'll show you once we get a little bit further into it. And if we click on the little X, it will remove it from production. We don't want to do that because we just put it there. We want to produce this item. So yeah, whenever you click, okay, establish a colony. This is another quest, so as I said, at least read over the quest screen once so you get a good idea of what it looks like, what you're looking for in it. So objectives: 0 of 1, complete a production project. So any production, what we're doing right now is a production, will receive 17 energy and 28 production.
When all suggested actions from the task notifier above the minimap have been handled, the option will automatically change to End Turn. Ending the turn will prevent you from taking any further actions until your next turn, unless you are attacked.
Alright, since we've moved all of our units and started production in our colony, there's no more actions to be undertaken, so that's all, it's basically telling us just in turn. But I would like to show y'all, so this is what your base screen looks like, right? We have our commander down here, we have our screen with which we can move around and all that. Whenever we do click,
the currently selected colony tab is Unit Production. All units available for construction are listed here.
It'll be a little bit better once we get out of all these tutorials with Ava popping up, but I'm trying to let her talk so she can say her piece. So yeah, the Unit Production tab. This is where we make more units. What are units? They're the things that attack. They're the things that go settle colonies for us, right? These are our units. I don't know how to describe a unit. Anyways, units can cost both production and energy to build, and higher tier units cost cosmite, as I've been trying to explain. All units available for construction are listed here, so if it's not going to show you a unit that you can't build because of research. It will show you a unit you can't build because of energy or lacking in materials, if that makes sense. So through research, you can unlock more, and by building the prerequisite infrastructure for them. So say there's helicopters later in the game, right? We're going to need to build an airspace so that way we can build the helicopters, and they're not going to show up here until later in the game. So don't worry about this getting overcomplicated. And I know whenever you hop into the middle of watching someone, say you went on to Twitch right now and you hopped into watching someone play Planetfall, you're going to be like, you know what, this is overwhelming, there's so much here, which is why we're trying to do this today and give everybody sort of a quick little preview of how to play the game. And for newer beginners that are just trying to get into strategy games, really take it slower for them. So don't worry about it getting overcomplicated. You'll know the units as you go. You'll learn them, that just like any other game. So this is the Unit Production tab. Next she'll prop up, and we've already been through the Structure Production tab. So
the Sector Production tab lists the structures that can be built in any of the province sectors of the colony.
Okay, so sectors are something that we'll get into a little bit after we get through this biodome and all that good stuff, and the game's trying not to overwhelm you, which is why it's telling me to go ahead and end turn and then go into the fight, and then we'll come back to this. But I don't want to show you a screen and then y'all be like, well, what does this button do? What does that button do, right? I'm the kind of person that likes to address everything once it's presented, and then I'll move on. So, sector production screen. What does it do? What is it all about? It is where we can, basically produce things for our sectors. What is a sector, you may ask? So, in civilization, your colonies, right, your cities, would grow naturally. Let me go ahead and close this out of the way. Well, I can't because I'll need to read it. But you all have seen the hex tiles. Basically, a new sector is like a bunch, a little tiny bunch of those hex tiles being added to our colony. So it makes our colony bigger, gives us more resources and more stuff to produce. So a sector and all of this can be exploited in 1 or 4 resources. This is a bit complicated, but I'm going to go ahead and read it so that way y'all know. A sector can be exploited in 1 of 4 resources: energy, food, knowledge, or production, by building the appropriate building in that sector. Once the exploitation is finished, a specialization can be built in the sector to get extra bonuses associated with the chosen exploitation. So basically it says we place a sector or we colonize a sector, then we get to choose, what is this sector really going to focus on? That's what it means when it says exploited. What are we going to focus on? Energy, food, knowledge, production. And then basically, based off what you pick there will be an appropriate building for that exploitation. So if we go with food, the building will probably be a farm. If we go with knowledge, it will probably be like a science lab. Make sense? And then same thing, you know, we can add productions, same as in the structure production tab.
The Colonist tab lists details of the colony's growth and happiness. The colony's output can be fine-tuned by assigning colonists to resource slots.
New commanders can best keep colonist management and food sharing on the default settings. So basically it's telling you, hey, while you still don't know anything, keep this little auto button, you know, lit up, you know, keep it filled in, basically is what they're telling you. For those of you that are veteran, probably shouldn't be watching this, but in case you're like interested in becoming a veteran, this is how it works. So you see we have 3 colonists, right? 3 of 16. And you see 3 little people over here, and we can basically divide them up however we want to produce additional things. Now we are going to leave it on auto for right now, but even with auto, remember you can highlight sorta and tell the computer, hey, even though you're in auto mode right now and you're going to do the math, right? I want to tell you which ones we want priority. So even through auto, you have a little bit of customization, which is why it's telling you, you know, probably just leave auto on if you're new here. But for those of you that are trying to play on a harder difficulty, that's when you'll really get in here and start changing around the pieces and be like, you know what, this turn we're probably fine on energy, so let me take that out. Let's get some more happiness or something, you know, something like that. So let's reset all of these to 0. And it'll also tell you growth, you know, how long your growth will happen. Growth happens in 3 turns. Tell you when a happiness event will happen. Happens in 6 turns. And basically how it's calculating that, right, is right here. Okay. If you just hover over it in most Civ games and most strategy games, if you just hover over it, it'll pop up and tell you, like, why it's getting to that number. So we have 19 income of food per turn, and we need 48 to get to the next colonist, which is why it takes 3 turns, right? So everything in these strategy games is pretty well broke down, and yeah, we're finally going to end our turn now that we've gone through that. This is our unit. These are our soldiers with our unit.
This is the unit panel where all the information on a unit can be viewed, including their active and passive abilities in the list on the left side.
Okay, so once researched, unit mods can be assigned to a unit using the mod slots on the right.
Units can have different roles in combat.
Okay, so basically what it's telling you here is whenever we go into a fight, which we'll get into that in just a minute, the units are sort of split up in their uses. Like most strategy games, you'll have, you know, the archers and the cavalier people and the upfront infantry. So that's what makes the game a strategy game as per usual. Now let's go through the unit names. Core units are races scouts and baseline infantry. So these are the people that we're going to be sending in the front, right? People that's going to be scouting out the terrain. Probably the people that's going to be taking a little bit of damage, a little bit of cannon fodder. Skirmisher units are focused on dealing damage. So these are our rangers, the people that sit back maybe and just unleash hell. Specialist units have non-damaging, it is important, non-damaging support abilities in addition to their attacks. So these are the people that are probably going to be healing us, maybe giving us better fortifications, right? Elite units are higher tier units that have strong damage and strong support abilities. So these are the units that are going to be costing us our Cosmite, right? Colony can only produce skirmisher, specialist, and elite units if it has built special unit unlock structures. So this is where I was talking about, you know, if we want to build a helicopter, we're going to need the air helicopter building, right? Makes sense. So all the stats are over here. These top stats tell us what it can do when it's in combat. So it has the ability to fire a focused laser array, or to fire a wide field laser array, which is its 2 abilities. And then it's going to go through and tell us all of its details, right? So it's a skirmisher. It's mechanical, which will matter when we get later into like abilities and mods and all that. But for right now, just know if you're looking for something specific, say you get a mod and it says plus 50% damage on mechanical units, then you'll come here and be like, okay, is this unit mechanical? Yes, it is. Perfect. This mod will work, right? So it'll tell you your health, it'll tell you the armor, it'll tell you the shields, which shields and armor in game always confuses people, but think of it like this: shields works the same as your shields in Halo, right? It's your extra barrier, it's your it's like your bulletproof vest in Grand Theft Auto, right? It'll take some damage, but it's not your health bar, right? Melee attack units ignore all shields, so don't think that it's your safe haven. Your health bar is ultimately that. Your armor is what's going to determine how much damage people are doing. Your shields are like an extra layer of health, is the best way for me to describe it. And then over here on the right, it's going to tell you your move points. I think 40 is the highest move points. That's fine. This thing has 8. Then, of course, you can come over to your troopers, which all of these are going to be the same. And you have the option when you go to
mods allow you to improve your units later in the game and allow you to adapt your arsenal to ever-evolving threats.
Alright, so mods we can place on one of our units or place them all at the same time, but it does cost, every time we mod a unit, I think they become weaker for 1 turn, and then it also costs you, some cosmite and some energy based on the mod, so. And then it's saying unit mods can be unlocked through research or bought from NPC factions, so. That should be it as far as. And then up here it has all your stats. It's telling you how much cosmite and knowledge and all that good stuff. It's telling you which faction really supports you, right? Tactical operations, we'll get into all of that later. So let's go ahead and end the turn.
The task notifier shows actions available during the current turn, as well as urgent matters that require attention.
Okay, so this is the task notifier right here, right? Planetfall objective report. It's just, well, it's not letting me actually activate it, but that's probably because I already ended the turn, and that was just basically a little summary of our turn, if you will. So Ava is saying, Commander, excuse me, voice crack. Commander, our laboratories have come online and research is now available. We can begin researching technologies to unlock new deployments to help us on this planet. Excellent. What do you suggest we start considering our mission parameters? And then she is going to tell us, for military research, it is recommended to start with nanite support to provide our troops with extra protection and unlock battlefield support operations. And then for society, it recommends we start frontier facilities to unlock basic infrastructure upgrades to our colonies. And then it's just telling us it has already highlighted them.
Commander. Here we allocate knowledge to rediscover the technologies of the Star Union and search for new frontiers.
Alrighty, so welcome to the Research Center. It's already done all that. So military research concerns unit unlocks. So unit modifications and military operations. This is where we're going to be upgrading all of that. Society research deals with economic development, governmental doctrines, and covert operations. So think of it like this. Military has to deal with our units and our firepower. And society is our money, our talking, our culture, that kind of stuff, which is pretty self-explanatory. Knowledge is applied to both types of research equally at the end of each turn. So what it's saying is, in Civ games, you would research 1 technology. In this game, you kind of research 2 at the same time, right? You're researching your military and your society at the same time. I was going to say coincidingly, but that's not a word, right? That doesn't make any sense. Anyways, higher tier research is locked behind prerequisites denoted by white lines in the research tree.
Military research concerns unit unlocks, unit mods, and military operations.
So, it is divided into 3 categories. Alright, the military research is divided into 3 categories. Racial research includes all of that race's unit unlocks, including defensive mods, tactical operations, and strategic mods. Weapon technologies unlock offensive mods and tactical operations. And secret technology paths unlock units, mods, and operations with unique mechanics. So, what's the best way to describe this? We have racial here in the top, right, where it's saying Vanguard. Our race is Vanguard. So these are our racial researches. So this is going to have all of our engineer, air corps, naval. This is where we unlock new units, right? And defensive mods for those units. So maybe we'll unlock like a med kit, right? Something along those lines. Weapons, which we're going to be finding right here, laser and firearms. Unlocked offensive mods, so this is going to be like a shredder bomb. Maybe we add, electric ammo, so that way we deal extra damage against machines, and that's where you start reading, your foes, what they have on them, what, all that good stuff. So the game gets very in-depth, and I'm trying to keep it basic while still touching on at least everything. So yeah, weapons are right here, and they split it up very well. It's just if you go through and read it and you're not, you know, checking back and paying attention to everything, then things might get a bit confusing. So this is going to be racial upgrades, this is going to be weapons, and this is going to be our secret technology. And you say, well, Chance, is that going to be the same every single time? No. The same way in Sid Meier's in Civilization, and I will keep comparing it to that because this is a very similar style to that and a lot of its gameplay mechanics. But in Sid Meier's and all that, you would choose your leader, right? You would choose Genghis Khan or Caesar of Rome, right? In this game, you choose your commander, and each commander is a different race. Well, you know, for the most part, there are different commanders in different races. I should explain that. Every commander is not a different race. Anyways, so commanders have different races, which will change this, and different races have different weapons, which will change this, and different races have different secret technologies. Or I think maybe the commander determines the secret technology. Don't hold me fully on that, but yeah. So it seems like there's a lot to the game, but realistically, when you break it down and you're going, you know, it takes 4 turns to get this and 10 turns to get this, like you're moving pretty slow. So this is what it recommends that we get immediately is the Nanite support, which will unlock these 3 things here. It'll unlock Nanite Injectors, which is a defense mod for our armor. It is a free action, 100% accurate, which is nice. And I'm reading all these stats right here. I would scroll down, but it's a little hard to scroll down because every time I do, you see it moves it away. But you can read all the stats on the mod right there. I just read it was a defense mod right beneath where it's saying what it is. Then we have a Nanite support station, which is a tactical operation, which is something we can use in combat, and I'll show that later. But it drops a Nanite support station onto the battlefield, which has a built-in blur field, which gives obscured. And for anything you're wondering, like, oh, what's obscured? Click on Imperial Archives, and you can come over here to the search, type in OBS, you know, obscured, and then type it in, obscured. Ability type, buff. This unit is 40% harder to hit. Makes sense, right? Gonna make your unit 40% harder to hit, and it's also gonna gain 10 health each turn. The little heartbeat, that is health for your units. And then furthermore, we're gonna get combat assist system, which is another tactical operation. It's gonna send out a CAS drone, combat assistant system drone, to assist target unit. The drone purges any negative status effects and provides 2 movement while it is active for up to 3 turns. Okay, so this is like if our unit gets stunned or dazed or knocked down or whatever, you know, negative effect we don't want it to have, that's when we'll use this. So we'll just click on Nanite support and hit research, and that's going to do it for military.
Society research concerns economic development, governmental policies, and espionage.
Okay, so it too is divided into 3 categories. Obviously, they love dividing things into 3 categories. Doctrines are going to research concerns dealing with governmental policies to steer your empire. So, like how your empire is driven on its own, right? Are you a monarchy? Are you a dictatorship? Are you democracy? I was losing all train of thought on government there, right? Anyways, economy research focuses on the development of your colonies, so, you know, them getting bigger, or maybe their knowledge expanding quicker, or just their resources growing, their production, right? So allowing for exploitation of terrain and happiness of your population, as I just said. Operation research unlocks special covert operations that can be used to spy on other players, as well as options to increase operation effectiveness. So it's kind of the same with military, right? You have your 3, and this is the special, this is a secret one, right? Same thing over here. Operations is like our secret one. It's our spies. It's how we're going to steal our opponent's information, how we're going to keep a check on them, which obviously is a bit more important whenever you're playing on higher difficulties or whenever you're playing against actual human beings, because obviously, you know, if you're playing on beginner and you're playing against the computer, then maybe you don't need to focus on knowing what they're doing, because they shouldn't be doing anything super spectacular anyways. So, Frontier Facilities, this is what it wants me to select, which is going to give us Recreational Dome, which is a colony upgrade. The colony gains 2 happiness slots and +4 happiness income, which is awesome, and it costs 150 production, so not all bad. We have 85, so we can complete it in 2 turns, right? We're also going to get the Standard Military Infrastructure, which is a colony upgrade. Upgrades the colony militia army to include more powerful units. So, sounds like we're just going to unlock some more units, which is, you know, awesome. Down with that. We do have to build it. It costs 150 production and 4 upkeep energy, which means it's going to minus that +51 down to 47. So, we'll have to keep an eye on that. And then it also unlocks a unit for us, the Colonizer, a Vanguard Colonizer, which can fight, but I think it's mostly for making new colonies. You know, given the name Colonizer. So yeah, we won't go into detail with all of these because as you can see, the trees go on and on and on, right? All the way to the end. So we're not going to dive all the way through them right now. Let's go ahead and click on this because it is highlighted. And anytime you have like something going on here, you probably want to check it out.
The Units Template Manager interface shows you mod templates for units under your control.
Alright, so templates are the unit, right? So this is a template. It's a assault bike. It's like each template is a different unit, if that makes sense. They use words to make it sound better with the story and more in line with everything, but just know that the template is like the different types of units. And you can change the template by changing what you have for the unit. Well, this has popped up and we don't have anything to modify it with, but say we wanted to put a mod on a unit, right? That would change our template. So it would be a Vanguard Trooper. However, it would also have whatever else on it. Say we wanted to mod it with fire weapons, right? So that way in the future when we go to build a Vanguard Trooper, it'll come out with the fire weapons already on it, and we don't have to spend that turn modifying it and all of that good stuff. So, and then we can toggle the visibility, yada yada yada. Sorry that I am moving through it a little bit quicker now, but we're trying to get on into battle because there's a lot of things that I need to explain that are in the battle. So again, come to the unit production right here, click manage. This is how you get to your unit. What's it called? Which we can't, like, we have no purpose to modify right now because we have 0 mods, but once our research completes, we'll come back to the screen and talk about it further. So here we are back to our unit, back to our army, right? Army of Jack, because we are Jack Gelder, so it's Jack's army. We're going to take it, we're going to move it over the bug, and to initiate in combat, we just right click it. You know, you want to make sure your bug is, you know, highlighted red and all that. So we move to the biodome. Jack says there are no survivors here. It looks like the structure was overrun by critters. We must reclaim this biodome and annex its sector to our colony. This will expand our domain and increase our supplies. So whenever I was talking about annexing sectors and all that, this is basically just saying, hey, we're going to go annex our first sector. We're going to show you how to do that. And Ava is saying we do not have enough colonists to control additional sectors yet. So basically you need to control another sector, you're going to need more people, right? You can't control a sector if you don't have any people to go stay there. Otherwise, your control is going to be lost very, very quickly. So it's saying we will need additional food to allow the colony to grow. Larger colonies can sustain more province sectors. So we need to get our base colony, Stonebur, right over here, bigger, so that way it can support having a little province added to it. I want to establish our foothold here as quickly as possible. We can recover extra food from the overgrown biodome after we clear it out. So basically it's saying after this mission, we'll take the food from here that we found and we'll use it to fund it, right? So we moved and we explored the biodome. Now we need to get rid of this infestation, right? We need to search for survivors, and we don't know quite what these bug things are yet, but we'll go into combat. So whenever you right click on something, this is what's going to pop up. It's just a little screen showing you, hey, these are the people you're fighting. These are your units. If you want to modify them, click on them, modify them now. Although, you know, generally you want to try and mod them before you go into fight, since it is going to make them a little bit worse for the single turn. Now, I haven't seen auto combat yet, but we do have the manual combat and negotiate. Here we can't negotiate because they're a bunch of bugs, they're a bunch of critters. So we're gonna hop into the manual combat, which is where it gets like XCOM. So down here you'll see you have a
The battle has started, Commander. The defending army always gets to act first, followed by the attackers.
So we were the attackers here, I believe, right? We marched in on them. So tactical operations can be launched during combat as support, although they are disabled during the first turn. So all those tactical operations that we unlocked, you know, this is where they come in. So
during a combat turn, each unit has 3 action points to spend on using their abilities, which can cost between 1 and 3 action points. Regardless of cost, using an ability always ends the unit's turn.
okay, so every unit has 3 action points, as it just said, you know, yada yada yada. Every unit also has move points. So you'll see these little tiles. We have the purple and we have this red area and all that good stuff. And using these move points will leave a unit with fewer action points to spend. So as long as we don't move at all, we have all 3 action points. If we move within this first, what is this, green, purple border, something like that, you know, then we'll use one of our action points. If we move within the red, we'll use all of our action points and we won't be able to do anything other than just like hunker down, right? So keep that in mind when you go to move your units. You don't want to move them all the way forward and then not be able to set them up for defense or not be able to shoot or whatever, you know, you may want them to do. So the tactical movement colors on the ground indicate how many action points the unit will have left after moving there. The red overlay on the ground means the unit will be left with no action points after movement.
Commanders and heroes are some of the strongest units in any army, capable of wielding a variety of powerful weapons and even piloting vehicles. They level up as they gain experience, allowing them to unlock new abilities and buffs.
So, commanders and heroes. What is a commander? A commander is this Jack Gelder, you know, the guy we were walking around on the map with. He is a unit we can command down here in combat, and he is a commander. Now, if a commander is defeated in combat, they will return to their faction's headquarters, so back to our head base, you know. And then after a certain number of turns, they will come back. However, heroes don't have that, so once a hero dies, it is dead, so keep that in mind. Jack Gelder is a commander, so he will come back. So, we have our little battlefield here. Let me move it around a little bit. Which is, it's very basic for right now, but I'm sure as the game goes on, they'll get more complex and whatnot. And then we have our 2 enemy armies right here, if you will, or enemy units, I guess. And you can click on them and see all their stats, so air, leap, and combat jump, and claw strike, and the accuracies, and all the stats, which is good for, again, if you're on higher difficulty. But for now, with just being, well, Ava just keeps interrupting me.
Next to attack,
is this free to play? No, it's not.
Which increases the unit's defenses until the start of their next turn. Guard abilities always cost 1 action point.
Also, Ula to everyone joining in on the screen, on the stream. So each units have active abilities they can use during combat. She already read all that to you. The maximum range of a unit's currently selected ability will be displayed using the white line on the battlefield. So as you can see, again, it's using the white line. And Sid Meier's and Civilization games are real big on doing this, on showing you your range and showing you everything, pretty much. Anyways, you can select the enemy's units to see their abilities and how they can use them, as I've already shown you. And then holding down the Alt button, the button right beside your space bar, allows your units to target obstacles on the ground, I'm sorry. So say you're going to use a grenade and you don't want to target an enemy creature because it may hit your unit, then you can use Alt and free select and select behind the enemy unit, so that way it just nicks them and doesn't hit you. So
try moving your units forward to form a gun line, Commander. There are several nearby obstacles that your Vanguard Troopers can take cover behind, symbolized by shield icon when hovering over the hex.
Okay, so Vanguard Troopers have the ability to overwatch, allowing them to shoot at enemies that move into range. This is a very powerful ability which works very well against the melee units you are now facing. or you are now facing. Try putting your troopers in cover and enable Overwatch on them. The red eye symbol. The assault bike has great mobility and is best moved into a flank position to engage in combat next turn. So basically, it's just saying, hey, get ready for these bugs. So we don't want to move them into the red because then we'll have no more action points. And whenever we choose an ability down here, so if we choose, defense mode or Overwatch, it's going to use the rest of our turn, and we don't want to do that until we're as far as we can be without using all of our moves. So we're going to move all the way over here.
A friendly unit has moved into cover. Cover protects the units by making it harder for enemies to hit them with abilities. Cover is directional and only protects against attacks if it is between the targeted unit and the enemy.
Some units are too large for cover, as per the usual for Sid Meier games, but they can be used as cover. So say you have a big old tank, obviously it's not going to be able to hide behind trees. However, your army men can hide behind the tank, which is pretty realistic. Throughout the combat map, there are also large obstacles that block the line of sight. So obviously you're not going to be able to shoot if there's a big old tree in your way, right? So try to use the obstacles to your advantage, right? Use them for cover. However, don't allow them to block your line of sight. Now for this little army man right here, you can see if we move anywhere else, since it is red, it is going to cost us our last action point. Also, you can see just up underneath their health bar, there's 1 action point gone, 2 action point gone. We're on our last one, also shown down here in the bottom left. So we're just going to throw them into Overwatch.
Some units with ranged attacks can enter Overwatch. While in Overwatch mode, the unit will have a red eye icon above its head. This unit will fire its primary ranged attack at any enemy unit that moves or uses an ability on a hex within this unit's field of
So yeah, if they try to come at me, if they try to enter this little barrier that I'm about to show you. Also, Overwatch can only target once per turn per unit, if that makes sense. So this little army guy will not trigger Overwatch on both enemies. However, he can trigger Overwatch on one of them per each turn. However, if your unit is staggered, it will knock him out of Overwatch. So, as opposed to, well, now I can't think of them. As opposed to the XCOM games, where you just sort of gain Overwatch in every direction, right? You can just magically watch everything. In this game, it's a bit more realistic in the fact that you can only Overwatch a certain area. So, where do we want to Overwatch? Probably like this, right? Just in case they try to come up on us. And again, whenever you're going to select this, whenever you're going to finally, set it where you want it, you want to right click. So they're in Overwatch, they're going to be covering this whole little area here. I don't quite want to move my bike yet. I want to move all of my people first. It's just a preference. You don't have to. But yeah, I think using these little, what are these little stairwell things as cover is just perfectly fun and dandy. So let's move our leftmost unit to the left, right? Makes sense. And again, we'll throw them on Overwatch, and this is to protect our flanks so the bugs don't come around here and try and get us from behind. Now where are we? We're on Jack Gelder. Not quite yet, buddy. Not quite yet. Tall growth. So that's saying all this grass down here on the ground, right? It's gonna make it a little bit difficult for us to see and do things. That's okay. We'll still protect our rear flank with them. And it said the assault bike is really good at getting around behind your enemies and flanking them, so we may want it to go all the way around, right? To where it can actually hit them for a surprise attack. So maybe we do bring it all the way over here, right? And once you're done with the movement, if you've moved it all the way out, can't move anymore, first option doesn't work, you don't want to rotate it. Well, you might want to rotate it, but the rotation only matters for getting flanked. So if we're worried about getting flanked from this side, we rotate it this way, this, that, or the other. However, we're not too worried about it, so we'll just skip. Now we still have Jack, and we still have this other army unit. Where do we want to move them? Again, we're trying to find cover, so we can move this Jack guy over here beside our first army unit that we moved, and we'll put him in Overwatch as well. And we will move our second little army guys right here and throw them in Overwatch as well. And now we're all done with our turn. We have our units set up, we're all in Overwatch, and we're ready for our alien friends to make their move. Wow. So they didn't really move much, they just went into defensive mode, which I gotta say is a bit depressing, but you know, it gives us a chance to maybe show off the grenades. We can't obviously reach them because the grenades, well, we're human beings, we can only throw them so far. So we're gonna need to crawl some of our units up there, and when I say crawl, I mean walk them up there ever so slowly. Now we have to be careful because we know that our enemy is pretty much all melee. So tell you what, we're gonna move up this middle unit. We're gonna see if we can't hit them with a grenade. We can indeed, and we can break their cover, which is an awesome little added benefit. So let's go ahead and chunk this grenade.
A unit has been staggered, causing it
So
to lose an action point. Most melee attacks and explosives will stagger units.
So yeah, if a unit is in Overwatch or guard mode, so we did just knock them out of guard mode, they are cancelled when the unit is staggered. So if you're going to stagger a unit, if you're going to melee attack them, or you're going to use explosives, use it at the beginning of the turn. So that way they are staggered. They are down. They are weak. Right? Now again, we're worried about those little bugs over there, but this is the tutorial, so we don't have to worry too much. Let's go ahead and move these guys up and see if we can't get a pretty good shot on this. No, we can't get a shot at all. Well, we could always blow up more stuff, right? Why not? Let's grenade them again if we can't. If we don't have a line of sight, we'll stagger them and make them lose another action point. And we're not quite ready to deal with you yet. Assault rifle, we can't quite see all the way over there. What about you, Jack? You got a line of sight? No, not quite either. We gotta make some move ups here. So we're gonna move Jack up, and well, hell, we could almost. Jack, I need you to go a little bit stronger there, man. Alright, so we'll throw Overwatch mode on Jack. Move him up. They still can't see it. Definitely can't reach, so we're going to go and throw on another Overwatch here. And what about you guys, huh? Do we want to go all the way around our enemy? Yeah, that's probably fine. Let's go wide. We'll come around and take out these people. Now we do have this team all the way over here that I'd forgotten about. I guess we could just run them all the way back over. Since our enemies went this way, we don't have to worry about them flanking back this way, correct? So that's going to be all of our moves for that turn. We'll let our foes move around.
Most abilities that are used on enemy units have an accuracy rating, which is the chance that the ability hits the intended target.
Alright, so if an ability misses, it will either strike another target. So say you miss a shot, but there's someone standing behind them, you may have a chance of hitting them. Or it'll do nothing at all. Or some abilities can also graze. So say we're just shooting at somebody, which is technically an ability. Then you may just graze them, so you'll do part of the damage, but it's going to be always reduced. So here's these little spitters shooting beetle spit at our stuff. And we had these jumpers jump at us. But thanks to having Overwatch, we were able to take them out very quickly. And yeah, now it's our turn. Now we can deal with these little bugs. I was going to call them by their name, but I don't see their name anywhere, so... And also, okay, you can look at the little cross arrows on the enemy and see if you have a line of shot, I believe. I believe red means that you are flanked. Yellow means that you're not necessarily flanked, but you can still hit them. So we're going to move our units straight over. No? Cannot fire there. We could fire if we had enough action points, but we don't. So we'll throw in an Overwatch, make sure they don't move, correct? Again, same with these. These people aren't going to be able to watch or to reach them either, so we'll throw them in Overwatch. Jack, buddy, pal, friendo mine, I'm going to want you to move all the way over here and get ready for next turn as well. You're fine staying there. You guys have a bit of catching up to do, so again, we're going to move our units over to the right. Get them all over here centralized, correct? And let's see. Trying to flank them, right? Trying to... Does not appear as though we're going to be able to get a flank, so maybe we just go for the shot. We missed. That's okay. That is a-okay. We are out of moves here. Out of moves here. So we'll end our turn. And it looks like they went to do something, so our Overwatches did proc. Yep, they're going to move.
Units with melee attacks will enter melee Overwatch at the end of their turn, denoted by a red sword icon above their heads. While this unit is in melee Overwatch, they will use their primary melee ability against any enemy unit that moves through their threatened area or uses an ability
So
adjacent
basically, if a melee unit walks up to you or vice versa, once they have done their turn, they're going to automatically enter Overwatch, which makes sense because, you know, if you go to do anything, move, shoot, whatever, they will retaliate. It's melee. This game is trying to keep it realistic, so do we want to use this unit? No. Why? Because it's in melee range. It's going to get retaliated again. It's going to get Overwatched. So we'll take one of these over here that flanks.
A unit attacked from the sides or back is considered flanked and takes increased damage. Units in guard mode
So,
cannot
since our alien friend just moved over here, we know that they're not in guard mode. Also, we saw the little green X marker above their little skull, where it shows that they are an enemy, which tells us that we are flanking them. So, units can be turned to face any direction, but units that have used an ability can no longer be turned. And abilities that require a target that... Units that... Too many technical words. Abilities that require a target will always turn a unit towards that target. So, just a quick little heads up. Alright, great. So, we killed him. Our unit right here took a little bit of damage because, you know, these little beetles, apparently whenever they die, they release some kind of toxin or gas. But nonetheless, that's going to be our first mission, right? Playing through it all the way up to now, that is how we get through there. It's fairly simple. So after you've completed it, it'll tell you you've won or you've lost, whatever. It'll show the units that have been deceased and the health bars of all of your units that have remained alive or have died. Ava coming back at us. Commander, our colony has now grown big enough to support an additional sector. How convenient, right? Now we just unlocked an additional sector and now we can have enough people to support it. Anyways, I recommend annexing the sector, which excuse me, which contains the biodome, as this will add its food income to our colony. So, good, we'll annex the sector to our colony as a province sector so we can start exploiting the land for resources as soon as possible. Now, these little cutscenes right here between Jack and Ava, it's basically just story, right? It's already told you about all this. We've already learned about all this. It's just telling you, hey, this is what we're doing. You know, words make sense. So, we won. Take the reward.
Objective complete.
Now, this is a quest screen that has been completed. And again, you can just take note of it. You know, tells you everything you did. Take reward. Expand colony. Expand your colony by annexing the nearby sector. Hint, you can annex a sector by moving a unit on top of the sector banner and then selecting annex sector in the available options. So, this is the banner, so to speak, right here. We will move our Jack Gelder squad on top of it.
Planets are divided into geographical sectors that contain natural resources or valuable remnants of the Star Union. Sectors can be settled with colonizers or annexed as provinces to existing colonies by interacting with the central sector.
Alrighty, the sector analysis panel on the right shows an analysis of its features and any locations present there. So this sector has fertile plains and fungal, which both boost what is that? Food and research, right? Upon exploitation. So
sectors usually have both a climb and a terrain feature that determine their economic potential.
okay, climb and a terrain. So like a climate and terrain makes sense. In addition, sectors can contain locations such as resource nodes, visit sites, and hazards. So maybe a sector has a lava pit as one of its locations, right? In our case here, we have an overgrown biome, which is going to give us a little bit more food for production, which is awesome. So yeah, which can add economic or strategic value to the sector. They can also affect the sector in other ways, such as weakening units that pass through or causing special effects to occur during battles. Awesome.
To make your colonies thrive, sectors need to be annexed to colony centers. This turns them into province sectors that add income to their parent colony once they are fully
Alrighty.
developed.
Through experience, you'll learn how to optimize sector choices. So it's just basically saying, you may choose the wrong thing for a sector. You may found a sector as a colony when you should have just annexed it. You may build a forward base when you should have founded it. You never know. It's just saying you'll learn as time goes, and that's okay. But for right now, we're just going to annex it because we're trying to make our base colony bigger. Surface scan completed, Commander. I'm picking up a Vanguard military signal nearby. The signal, this could signify the presence of survivors on the planet. Bring it up on the scanners. Let's find out what the hell is going on here. So, familiar signals. This is giving us another objective, another mission. Locate the Vanguard military signal in the nearby sector. Alrighty, so, and scrolling out, I wanted to show this earlier, but I hadn't fully discussed it. So, these are your sectors. You see the little squiggly lines? Sort of looks like outlines of countries or counties or states or whatever you're familiar with. That's a sector, and it'll tell you, what kind of properties the sector has going for it. So this has double food, double knowledge, double food production and knowledge, and so on and so forth. So now we want to take our Jet Gelder and squad, and we want to head over here to Maneva and see what the hell is going on, as they said it, right? Out of move points. We are all out of the move points.
You have just annexed a sector, and it can now be exploited for one of the main resources. Ideally, the chosen exploitation type matches the terrain and climb features of the sector for future level.
So basically, it's just saying like you're not gonna exploit this sector, which has higher food and higher knowledge. You're not gonna exploit it for energy, right? Because that makes no sense. It has nothing to do with energy. So it's just saying whenever you go to build exploitations or specific projects for your sectors, make sure that they line up. If we have a fungal habitats, should probably go the agricultural route and building farms and that such. So after the sector has been exploited, a specialization can be built in it to further increase the sector's economic benefit. Conduct research to unlock sector specializations. Ava, Commander, the sector has been successfully annexed to our colony and is now considered a province sector. It can now be exploited for additional materials. Let's get this exploitation up and running as soon as possible. What does terrain analysis tell us? How can we best exploit our new province sector? And I don't know if this little whatever is going to go through each and every time, but this is showing you the thought process right behind it choosing what exploitation. So the climate is fungal. It has food and knowledge. The terrain is fertile plains, which has food and knowledge. And then the resource node is a biodome, which has food. So it's saying all in all, you have 3 food and you have 2 knowledge. So you should probably go for food, which is agricultural, right? So we're here on the sector production, back on your main hub, right? Because it is now an annexed colony, which means it's part of this bigger colony. So we want to have an agriculture exploitation built, so that way we can boost how much food we're getting from there. So yeah, it's going to take 2 turns and so on and so forth. Establish colony. We've done that. Take rewards. we've also completed our research, so
Quantum-powered molecular machines are not magic, they're science. But the uncertainty principle dictates that if I explain to you exactly how it works, it'll stop working that way. So just trust me. It's not magic, it's just probabilistic, quantum state-driven subatomic machines. Stanley Strangelove, publicist.
okay. So each time you unlock something, it's just like Sid Meier's. It'll go through and tell you some little quote by some random person or whatever. So yeah, research complete. It shows you the 3 things that we've unlocked. And then we'll go in and select a new research. What do I want? Do I want an engineer? Do I want shotguns? You know, every time we go down a path, there's more things to be had. Personally, I don't know if I want to go for units or weapons or what quite yet. So in our first playthrough, we will just focus on all of it. We'll make sure to get up, you know, our units and get up our weapons and get up our secret technology. Secret technology will probably be a little bit less emphasized, although it looks like the secret technology for this these people is to like turn invisible and use like stealthy stuff, which I gotta say I'm not a huge fan of. So we'll go ahead and upgrade the firearms here, which will give us this offensive mod, which will give us basically a bleeding effect to our ammunition, and a shredder bomb, which is a tactical operation which we can use in the middle of combat. So subjugation ordnance is going to be our other research, and then we come over here. Do we want aquatic deployment? We do have that lake over there, right? Like we have this right here. We have Altatories pond, which could lead to some cool stuff. There's also a mountain. Or area surveillance, which again would probably be better if we were playing against actual people. So I think we're just gonna go for frontier policies, right? Give us a little bit extra. Or is this saying we need to go one of these, right? Because it's all highlighted green in that diamond. Maybe we should go with aquatic. We'll try it. Maybe the pond is worth it. You never know. Alrighty, so both of those are complete. Now let's move Jack Gelder over here to Mava. Lieutenant Zhang, what the hell are you doing on this rock? Last I heard, you were stationed on Leave 6. Commander Jack Gelder, I require your immediate assistance. Our settlement is overrun with hopper hounds. Okay, so now they have a name. And we need help fighting them off. We are sending you blueprints for some weapon modifications. Let's burn these bugs down. Receive, Lieutenant. We'll make quick work of these bugs. Commander, before engaging, we should... Okay, so it's basically just saying she gave us some mods. She gave us some mods free of charge, which is awesome, right? Help Dayu Zhang? I don't know. Defeat the Hopper Hound threat. That's going to be our next quest. Alright, so to equip these mods, we're going to click on our units. We're going to click on these little guys. These are our troopers, right? We have 2 mods we can equip. We can equip this little offensive mod, this little bleeding effect to our weapons. Now, here's the thing to note, and I'm going to go ahead and explain this before you do what I did and use all of your resources. So you can hit mod unit, and it'll mod this one unit, or you can hit mod equivalent units, which mods all of the units of the same type in your army. So keep that in mind. We are going to go ahead and mod I'm always so back and forth on this, but you know what? It's the tutorial. We will mod all equivalent units.
Once mods have been assigned to a unit, a new template needs to be made for the
So,
modified
remember earlier I was talking about templates? If we want to go back later and make another trooper, right? Because we're running low on troopers, maybe one dies or whatever. We're going to go ahead and make this template so that way we can make our trooper already have this mod equipped. Sharp. Sounds good, you know? I'm not someone that needs to really worry about it. We also have an Incinerator Module, which is going to help our laser weapons, so we'll go ahead and throw it on here. And Crucible is fun.
Heroes are special units that lead your armies. Commander, You are also represented as a hero
So,
on the map.
all commanders are heroes, but not all heroes are commanders, if that makes sense. As heroes level up, they gain upgrade points. So basically, your hero is like your person that you can actually upgrade. So the Nanite Injectors and the Incinerator Module on him. And yeah, boom, boom. I don't think we have any skill points to upgrade. Yeah, 0. So we have mods there, and mods there. Fantastic. Now let's move over here. Let's fight this bug. Let's do this. So Meva, it's another sector, and this is going to be the base for it. However, we can't do anything because we have we got a bug problem. We got an infestation, right? So let's take our army and let's fight it. Oh, we're out of move points. Okay, so that'll be for next turn.
Our colonies require the means to protect themselves and a reason to stay. At the very least, it's time to invest in some good old-fashioned guns and beer.
Alrighty, so a little bit of humor there. We have actually already selected our research for that, so we'll just created. Okay, that's just telling us. So we'll go ahead and end our turn on that note. Alrighty, so now that it is back to our turn and nothing else has happened, we're going to take our Jack Gelder and go into fight.
When engaging an army in combat, all armies adjacent to the defending army that are allied to either the defending army or the attacking army are drawn.
So it's basically just saying, say there was another group of bugs that was touching this group of bugs, then they would have 2 armies to fight with, just as we have 2 armies now. And basically this just means that you can have, you know, huge fights. Okay, so be careful and know that this game does take a long time to get through. So this is a strategy game, and it's going to be a slow one. So this means that up to 42 units can potentially join the same battle, and that one side can have a numbers advantage over the other. Yeah, better use that to your advantage. Prior to the combat, or prior to the start of combat, a special combat preview will show all armies that will be engaged in the battle, which is this little screen here, right? So we see that we have Zhang's little army right here. We see that we have our little army right here, and this is the Bugs army. So let's go ahead and hop into another manual combat, and we'll get a little bit more familiar with this combat system. I am going to fast forward it on 2 times playback speed, just because we don't need to see them moving around and such. Alright, so we have our squad here, and it's going to be just like last time. We'll move them around and make decisions. However, we also have this other squad over here with which we can do things. We can shoot, you know, I believe she is like a sniper. Zhang, I believe she's a sniper. Yeah, MX 2000 sniper. So she's going to be our long range, and we don't want to get too close to these guys because we don't want them jumping, right? We got to remember these guys are the jumpers, right? So let's move this squad first, because Jack's my main concern, right? He's my main man. So we'll move this little army up, and we'll set them in Overwatch. That should be a pretty good position. Jack, boy oh boy, we are going to move you. Well, we'll just move you over here to the side for now and throw you on Overwatch of your buddies. How's that sound? So if they come in and try to melee any of Jack's friends, he will take care of them. That's the kind of man that Jack is. Overwatch, and we're going to Overwatch basically all the bugs with them. Now our Crucible Crucible Assault Bike, these guys are meant to go around, right? That's why they have so much movement. They're meant to circle our enemy. So let's see. Bugs are coming in that way. We got to remember these bugs are all melee, so for the most part they're melee. And we're in the tutorial, so it doesn't really matter too much what we're doing, but general idea, we're going to move all of our units forward. We're going to throw them all on Overwatch to see if our enemies make any movements. We're going to send you over here as sort of like bait, right? Oh, you do have a shot there. You want to shoot or we want to just hunker down, right? 25% harder to hit, can't be flanked. But it's going to be mighty hard to flank this unit anyways, so let's just go for the shot, right? Let's get some early damage in. And it's burning, so that's going to be a little bit extra damage. Alright, now we have this whole other army over here to move. They have troopers as well, so what do we want to do with these troopers? Let's move... This is our first... Yeah, these are the ones in the front. Okay, so let's move this first set of troopers. Let's see, how far around can you get? You can get all the way there. Let's move our little engineers up. I don't believe they have a... Yeah, out of range. Let's see, we can also repair. We can place a gun turret. Or we can targeting calibration. Assist the targeting computers of a friendly mechanical unit, increasing their accuracy by 30%. Oh. So that would have been good to do on our assault bike over there, but you know, things have happened. So let's place down a little machine gun turret, right? So if these hopper hounds decide to move, we can take them out. Oh, and we can go ahead and throw our machine gun turret into Overwatch. Fantastic. Yeah, let's do that. Alright, now I don't believe she's going to be able to hit, and her Overwatch is very limited, so we're just going to move her forward, yeah? She has a sniper rifle, so we kind of want her to have an open field, right? Open view of all of the field, so. She has a shot. It's either that or hunker down, and I don't believe our bugs are going to be going for her, so we'll take the shot. We missed. That's okay. It was only 15% chance. Can't be getting heartbroken over things like that. Let's go ahead and move the rest of our militia up. And we are super overstocked for this, right? Like, there's no way we're going to lose this whatsoever. But I still like to take it slow to show y'all just general advice for how you should move. But I guess we should also, you know, try to hurry up with this all a little bit, so. We'll go ahead and throw the rest of them into Overwatch. Now, I don't believe these two units will end up overwatching since they have the tents in front of them sort of blocking. We have all of our units over here ready to go. Alright, we're going to end our turn and see what the bugs do. Immediately they move and immediately we start firing off on them. Immediately, did I just say immediately 3 times in a row? Almost taking out one of their units completely. Almost taking out 2 of their units completely. Twin guns got a little bit of damage. Oh! Shit! They just jumped immediately back to... I've got to stop saying that word. They just jumped back on that sniper bitch that I said, oh no, I should be fine.
Operations can be launched by both sides. Tactical operations can be accessed using the operations interface button.
Alright, so a player can only launch a tactical operation during their turn. Makes sense. And only one can be launched each turn. Launching tactical operations costs energy and operation points.
Operations available.
Alright, so let's see what we got going on here. Did they... It landed directly on her. Alright. Let's see. So here's the operations, right? Launch a special operations. You just go down to right beside your little character face and click on launch a special operations. Now we have Combat Assist System, which is going to give us, you know, purge the bad effects. Nanite Support System, which is going to heal us. A Shredder Bomb, which is going to deal a whole lot of damage. And a Laser Strike, which is going to deal a whole lot of damage. Now, I'm going to go for the Nanite Support Station because we don't really need a big old laser, if I'm being honest, you know. Since we do have 2 over here, I'm tempted to obscure these 2 and heal them, but that guy doesn't really need healing. Maybe we just use a combat assist drone. Let's see. How big of an effect is this laser strike? Oh, it's just 1. Okay. What about the Shredder Bomb? It's a little bit bigger. Okay. Alright. Let's use the laser strike then, right? Let's try and... Whoop. Nice. Just immediately. Destruction, right? Alright. Twin guns. Do we want to just shoot them here? Shoot them there. That causes stuff to explode. Yeah, let's just take out this little grazed them. Got a little bit of damage. Engineers, you got a shotgun. You should be able to... Yeah, okay, so our engineer team was able to take them out fairly easily. What else do we have? We have this one guy over here. And this one right here. Okay, so... Really, out of line of sight. That is out of line of sight. Let's move you over one. Now you can see. Alright, Jack. You're going to take out them.
Enemy annihilated.
You can, but let's get you a little bit of a better shot, right? We destroyed their cover, so they came out of guard.
Enemy
Flanked
down.
them, dealt the last bit of damage, and that should be it for
They
that
never
mission.
stood a chance.
It is indeed. Alright. So, thank you, Commander. You got us out of a tight spot there. Don't mention it, Lieutenant. Status report, what happened here? A force of Outlanders made Planetfall a few cycles ago. So I'm guessing a cycle is like a year or a day or something like that. And assaulted our positions. Their assault was centered on the Void Tech facility nearby. We fought them off, but we suffered heavy casualties. Any survivors? None on their side, but our colony was burned to the ground during the assault. You're looking at all that remains of my detachment and the colony. Wow! Just 6 of you, huh? What a mess. Sorry about your casualties, Lieutenant. What about this Void Tech facility? Why were they after it? I don't know, Commander. All the scientists who knew of the facility perished in the assault. With our colony destroyed, we were unable to annex the landmark to investigate it further. Alright, let's get things back on track. I'll take command here. Pack up your settlement so we can redeploy it and set up a proper colony. Lieutenant Zhang, lead the way to the Void Tech facility. Alright, so we defeated the Hopper Hounds. New colony. New. Found a new colony in the Meva sector. Okay. So now we're making a new colony. We're not making a new sector of a colony, we're making a whole new colony. Hint, you can found a colony by moving a colonizer onto the center of a sector and then selecting the Found Vanguard Colony button in the sector interface menu. A colony cannot be placed in a sector adjacent to an existing colony. Okay. Explore the nearby sector, find the Void Tech landmark. Okay. So, what is this? This is a colonizer. Okay, we just automatically got a colonizer. Dope. So we do want to move the colonizer here then, yeah? And we want to found the colony. So, awesome. There's another colony. We have 2 colonies going now. Alright, that's going to take a turn, so I guess we don't completely. And we have 2 armies now, because now we have Zhang's army as well, which seems to have the Sharp Troopers. Okay, so it automatically modified all of them as well. Did it modify the engineers? No, it did not. We can modify them, but I don't know if we really need to go or worry about modifying all these things quite yet. So let's see if Jack has leveled up. That's actually something I'm interested in seeing. Nope, has not. Says we need to build a colonizer, but we already have one, so do we really need to build another one? Probably not.
All rival commanders and native NPC factions you encounter on the planet are listed in the diplomacy interface, along with faction information.
Okay, so obviously I didn't click on this tab earlier, but basically this is just how you see other leaders, and it'll tell you, you know, alliance, defensive pact. You'll learn this as we go along, same as I will. Background, it'll tell you the background of the Vanguards and the Void Tech, and just a general overview of the people.
Operations form a flexible toolkit that allows commanders to support military actions and steer government policies. Ops of increasing strength are unlocked through research and are listed on the left side of the operations interface.
And then our ops are subdivided into 3 categories: tactical, strategic, and doctrines.
Strategic and doctrine operations need to be primed before use. The priming process takes a number of turns pending the ops cost and your available strategic...
So, doctrine operations are automatically activated when they finish priming. Strategic operations such as airstrikes can be launched on your orders. Note, you can keep multiple ops primed at once. So, it's, priming them, I'm guessing, is like paying the cost, setting them up, getting them ready, and then, you know, tactical ones you'll want to try and save. Let's see. So yeah, we can prime these and get them ready and use it at will. And the doctrines will just automatically proc when they complete.
The objectives interface gives an overview of available objectives. Quests can come from NPC factions or from special sources during the
Alright, so quests, we've already been going through them and all that. The campaign path is like your main mission. You have side missions and, you know, all that good stuff. All that fun stuff.
The colony overview interface shows important information on all your colonies. Your HQ colony is marked with the phone icon.
Okay, so again, once you have a whole lot of colonies, you'll be using this screen more, but for now we're only going to have the 2, so we don't really need the colony overview.
The military overview interface shows important information about your armies.
So again, this is sort of like a management. You can see a general overview, of the weapons, mods, all that good stuff they may have, and then items are all of your mods or whatever it may be, basic grenades, things you can equip, right? And then back to the unit template manager, which is the last thing on the list. So it will not let you go to the next turn as long as you have a unit that needs orders, right? So you can come over here and click on the unit whenever you're looking. And yeah, we could go all the way back down there, but let's just stick to the mission, right? Let's come over here and find warning: incoming gravitronic wave in 2.26 seconds. Gravitronic wave, what the hell was that? I agree. Gravitronic wave passed through the system, origin unknown. Well, it looks like we're all still holding on to our atoms. Status report. Preliminary readings indicate that the void anomaly absorbed most of the gravitronic force, keeping the planet relatively unaffected. Further analysis, I will need to connect to the Void Tech facility. It contains advanced sensors. I was going to say signals. Anyway, sensors that are attuned to the void anomaly. Alright, we'll move in and get you hooked up to the Void Tech facility ASAP. So, shit, everything just went dark. Well, I can't see. Well, I guess we'll just go ahead and intern. Found a new colony. We did it. Annex, exploit. We did that as well. Sweet. So we were just knocking out these quests, yeah? What is this? Why does that have a -4 on happiness? Oh no. The upkeep is too high. We've got to raise the happiness. No, doesn't matter. Doesn't do anything. Okay, so these are all the things that we can build structure-wise. Sector, we don't really want to. Maybe I should let the game tell me when to do that, right?
Events listed in the right side of the screen are significant developments that happen during the course of a game.
So, Pittsburgh can annex its first sector. You should send an army to an adjacent sector to annex it for this colony. Awesome. So this is probably the sector that we're going to be annexing, right? So let's take our Jack Gelder here. There are signs of battle all over the structure. Lieutenant Zhang, is the facility still operational? The damage you see on the structure is all superficial. All of the heavy fighting occurred on the outskirts. Ava, can you access the facility? Void anomaly. Access to the facility is encrypted, Commander. Establishing a connection will require the Void Tech facility to be annexed to a colony. Okay, so it's basically just telling us, hey, we got to annex this section, which we were planning on doing anyways. So yeah, it's
Landmarks are remnants of powerful Star Union structures. There are 3 kinds of landmarks: bronze, silver, and gold, with increasing
okay. So
economic
gold
value.
landmark is better than a bronze landmark. Pretty self-explanatory. Landmarks have inherent exploitation, with gold and silver landmarks automatically counting as a level 5 sector. Oh, level 5 sector. Landmarks unlock special doctrines and colony structures when they are annexed. Well, that's awesome. Gold and silver landmarks first need to be entered to defeat the guards within, and only a single army can enter a structure to fight its guards. Okay. Alright, so yeah, let's landmark it. Landmark it? Let's annex this landmark. Let's English this shit. And it said only 1 can enter, so do I even want to take them over there, or do I want to like start exploring, you know? Let's send you over here. Send you over here, get you exploring. Now we gotta set the production. What do we want to do? It's telling me to build a colonizer, but honestly I'm not a huge fan of that. Might want to wait to build the core to see what that sector is going to be over there. Maybe we do go ahead and make a colonizer. We have plenty of stuff, right? We just used our other colonizer here, so yeah, sure. Now, what do we want over here? What do we want? We gotta get some happiness, right? Unlocks units. Unlocks units. Recreational dome. This gives us happiness, so we probably want some of that, right? Yeah, let's get the recreational dome. Let's get some happiness going up in here. Can annex another sector. Oh, you should send an army. Okay, well, yeah. I mean, we're getting there. Don't worry. We'll come over here to Altoro's pond, and we'll annex that in a minute. So we have everything set up, right? These people are doing their stuff. We're doing our stuff over here. Go and end turn. Establishing database connection to Void Tech facility database. Establish running analysis of void anomaly. There's a 99% chance that the planet will be consumed by the anomaly within the next 3 cycles. Whoa, we should leave. Back up all data from the facility and get everyone evacuated. There's no time to waste. There's a 33% chance of catastrophic failure during gravity well escape. Safety margins need to be overridden before a course can be locked in. Uh-oh. Oh, that's it. That's victory. Alrighty. So, that is the campaign completed. That is the whole tutorial mission done and done. Alright, we can continue the campaign, we can return. But that's all of what it's trying to teach you. The rest you're going to have to figure out on your own. No. What happens if we hit continue campaign? Does it continue?
We barely escaped the surface of the planet before the void anomaly consumed it. We're lucky to have gotten the colonists out alive. These last few days have left me filled with more questions than answers. What happened on the surface here? What was that gravitronic wave?
Okay,
that ripped
so
through this star cluster?
I'm assuming it's going to continue on with Jack Gelder's personal campaign, right? Because you have campaigns for other commanders that you can go down and all that. We're not going to be moving into all that today. I would like to keep this game sectionized, so I said it was going to be the tutorial. We completed the tutorial campaign, and now we're going to call it a quits on the live stream and everything. I hope everybody enjoyed. I hope y'all really liked this game, because I plan on playing it a lot more. So yeah, I've had fun. If y'all have as well, be sure to leave a like down below and let me know how much you've been enjoying the game. Other ways that I could maybe do this game instead of live streaming it. And yeah, all that good stuff. As always, I'll see y'all either later tomorrow or tonight. Peace.